Okay, this is the last time I'm going to try to do this review. My camera's been acting up. So this is a review on my Apollo 250. I've had it for about 3 months now. I got it in April 2017 of this year. It is a 2017 model. This review is probably going to come off slightly negative. I'm not really trying to make it negative. There's just a bunch of things I'd like to cover on it so that people know when they get this bike what to expect. First of all, I'm going to state that this bike is severely underpowered and overweight. It's a almost 300-pound bike. Its factory specs say it's 283 pounds, 17.5 horsepower. Your name brand bikes, you really just can't compare it to it. I mean, your 2016 model Yamaha YZF weighed 240 pounds with 39 horsepower. So for the price, you can't beat it. It's been a good trail riding bike. I've got it chained up to my lawnmower right now because the shed, we had to pull out the tractor and stuff, and that's what's going on in the field there if you hear a whole bunch of background noise. But anyway, let's get started. First issue, carburetor is pretty much junk from the factory. There are some things you can do to fix it, to make it run right. Check out some of Moto Cheese's videos on upgrading the carburetor. I've got a Mikuni carburetor in mine. I put a jet in it, and this past week I put a K&N style air filter. It's not K&N. If you do get another air filter, I suggest you do go with K&N, because the one I got's cheap crap. But with that increased airflow, I've gotten another 3 miles an hour over the top speed. Top speed used to be 70, now it's 73. If you do that, you're also going to have to adjust the mixture screw because it's getting a lot more air, so now it needs more fuel. Anyway, so carburetor's kind of junk from the factory. The chain is junk from the factory. Still running the factory chain. Pretty much every day that I rode it, I would have to adjust that chain like every 30 minutes because it would get that much slack and it stretches like crazy. Those are really not terribly bad issues. Also, the valve clearance, you've got two little things up here to adjust the valve clearance. Well, they're caps, you have to pop them off, of course, when the engine's not running and it's cool, so that way you can adjust the valve clearance. Mine would literally prematurely overheat and the valves would open up because of the expansion of metal after about 2 or 3 minutes of driving it. That was pretty much at the month-and-a-half mark that it started doing that. The battery that it comes with is gonna leak acid on you. That's why my bike is so rusty right here. It's because it leaked a bunch of battery acid. I don't currently have a battery in mine. I've been using the Kickstart, which is another thing. It is really aggravating to kickstart this, especially when it's cold. But I mean, as long as you got a battery in there, that's not really an issue. I'm planning to possibly go with a lithium polymer battery. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, the gas tank had constantly had little leaks constantly popping up on it, right where the plastics bolt up to it. It was leaking at every one of those contact points, and also where the gas tank bolts up against the cross member to the frame here. That tab actually broke off like 2 months ago. So for the bike only being 3 months old, constantly having to work on it, pretty much every bolt except for ones you're going to constantly have to take out to work on it. Like, I don't even have the seat bolts in there right now. But any other bolts you have to constantly work on, don't put Loctite on them. But anything else, put Loctite on. Like these little screws that hold that little heat shield on there. Definitely need to put some high temp Loctite on that. The breather box was absolute crap. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. That's something I would definitely change if you're going through a lot of dusty, sandy type stuff, because yeah, I just don't trust that crappy air filter box. I'll see if I can tie in a few videos of me riding this thing, but that's pretty much it. I mean, if you can get past the fact that the hardware, I mean the bolts are made of a cheap metal, and any bolts you need to replace, you know, go with some high grade steel and you should be just fine. I mean, for $1,500 you still can't beat it. I mean, it runs, and it actually runs good now that I've changed out the carburetor. If I had to add up all the money I've put into it plus what I've paid for it, it's probably going to be somewhere around, I don't know, maybe $1,600, maybe another $150 that I've put into it, and some of that stuff really isn't needed. But like I said, for $1,500 it's not that bad. You get what you pay for. But if you're looking for something that you can jump some big hills with, do a lot of wheelies with, then you might want to just spend another grand. Go ahead and get a used KX 250 or a Yamaha or even a Honda for like $2,500. But if you want something new and you're mechanically inclined, you don't mind working on it every now and then, and even for a new rider, I mean, for an adult that's never driven a dirt bike and you're worried about hurting yourself, because a lot of the new ones, they do have a lot of power, this would be great for that, you know, or just trail riding, that sort of stuff. It's been great for that.